Every winter, there are two meat dishes I always make. The first one is this dry rub cured, cold smoked pork neck, very similar to prosciutto. It's tender, slightly spicy and full of flavor. The second one is smoked Romanian sausage, juicy, spicy and just a little sweet. That one's coming next, so subscribe if you don't want to miss it. You'll find the full list of ingredients and exact quantities in the description, so you can easily follow along. Let me show you how. I'm starting by trimming off all the bits that are hanging loose and shaping the meat into a rough cylindrical shape. The trimmings get seasoned with salt and pepper and will turn into a really good pork stew later. Subscribe so you don't miss that one. Before making the curing blend, I like to lightly toast the peppercorns and caraway seeds, just until they smell fragrant. Then I grind them together with dried thyme, marjoram and the bay leaves. Everything goes into a large bowl, I mix it well, and then I transfer the blend into a jar with a lid. For the garlic, use a food processor, a blender or a garlic press to turn it into a paste. I only use 1/3 of it now. The rest gets pasted fresh on the day it's used. The curing part is very straightforward and happens over 3 days. Each day, I'm using 1/3 of the spice blend and 1/3 of the garlic. I rub the blend all over the meat, making sure it gets into all the nooks and crannies, and then I spread a layer of garlic paste on top. After that, I loosely cover it, just so pets or critters can get to it, and I leave it outside in the cold until the next day. I repeat this for a total of 3 days. Here I'm using a special and optional ingredient called shio-koji. It's a salty fermented Japanese marinade made from koji rice. It tenderizes the meat and adds a very subtle sweetness. I use it quite often in the kitchen, even when I bake bread. And I have a separate video on how to make it from scratch, if you are interested, link in the description. Normally, shio-koji goes on before the first layer of dry rub, but I forgot to add it, so I'm using it on day 2 instead. During days 4, 5 and 6, there's nothing else to do, I just flip the meat once a day. On day 7, I remove all the curing mixture and get the meat ready for smoking. I start by scraping off as much of the dry rub as I can using a butter knife. Well, it's obviously not dry anymore, but you get the idea. Then I wipe off whatever is left with a kitchen towel. Rinsing it is an option here, but I prefer to leave a tiny bit of the rub on the surface for extra flavor. After that, I tie the meat with some thin sisal rope. This helps shape it even more into a rough cylinder and also keeps it secure when I hang it in the smoker. Finally, I wrap it in a kitchen towel and let it sit for another 24 hours. This helps absorb excess surface moisture, which is important because wet meat doesn't take on smoke very well. Now it's time to smoke the meat. This will take 4 days, and each day I give it about 3 to 4 hours of smoke. Between sessions, the meat needs time to rest, absorb the smoke, and continue curing. For this I'm using a cold smoke generator that's very easy to build, and the design can definitely be improved. It's basically 3 metal pipes screwed into a T-joint, which is then mounted into a flange and bolted onto a metal lid with a hole drilled in the center. The burning chamber itself is just a tin can, with 3 holes at the bottom to let the air in. Inside the top pipes, there is a smaller tube connected to an aquarium air pump using silicone hoses. This hose can be secured to the smaller tube using plumber's tape or electrical tape, and the same tape can also be used to create a tight seal between the smaller tube and the larger pipe. When air is pushed through the smaller tube, it creates a low pressure zone, known as the Venturi effect, which feeds the embers and pushes the smoke into the smoking chamber. For fuel, I use either sawdust or wood chips, but always hardwood like beech, oak or fruit wood. Softwoods like pine or spruce contain resin, which creates harsh, bitter smoke. Because I'm using sawdust, I make sure to leave room for airflow by packing it to the side and creating a slight slope inside the can. Then I start the air pump and light the wood through the holes at the bottom. If everything is working, smoke should be coming out right away. To guide the smoke into the smoking chamber, I'm using a flexible hose. The smoking chamber itself is just a simple box where I can hang the meat with vents at the top to let the smoke escape. Once the smoking is done, I let the meat air out for another 24 hours, so any excess smoke can dissipate. At this point, you can already eat it, but I recommend hanging it in a cold pantry for another 10 days to finish curing. After that, portion it, vacuum seal it if you can, and freeze it for long-term storage. And that's it, homemade, cured and cold smoked pork. If you try making it, let me know in the comments how it turned out and whether you liked it. If you did, consider leaving a like and subscribing so you don't miss future recipes. Or check out one of my other videos, you might find something you like. Until next time, bye!